central to the idea of working with other people is the question, why work with other people in the first place? Like, why bother? You know, if you can't control them, you can't get them to do exactly what you want to do, why bother working with other people? And the answer is a concept called comparative advantage, which actually started, believe it or not, in the dismal science of economics. There was a economist whose last name was Ricardo, and Ricardo figured out, and this was popularized in Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations.
This is old.
Yeah, very old. Figured out that, okay, is it better for countries, the economy of countries, to be self-sufficient, as in produce everything themselves, or to produce and specialize in different things and then trade with each other?
Oh, okay.
And what Ricardo figured out is that it's far more effective, and he did all the math and the research behind this, which still holds true. It's called Ricardo's Law of Comparative Advantage, that says if country A is really good at one thing and country B is good at another, it's far more effective for them to specialize and trade with each other than to try to do both.
It's interesting that it started on a macro level and then gets moved down, because usually it happens the other way, right?
Yeah, usually. And
cool.
this holds, just as true, working with other people. You may be very good at one thing, but not so good at some other things. Another person may be good at the things you're not good at. So if you work together, you can actually get a heck of a lot more done than if everybody tries to do all things at all times. A lot of what has become the strengths-based leadership or management movement is actually based out of the idea of comparative advantage.
Makes sense.
It's focus on what you're good at.
Right.
Outsource or partner with or employ people who aren't good at what you're not good at, or who are good at what you're not good at, and you can all get a lot more done if you work together towards a common goal, all focusing on what you're best at. So this also is one of the reasons, which I really like. It's one of the reasons why working with a diverse group of people is valuable.
Absolutely.
Because if you have a group of people that are all have different experiences, different skills, different ideas, different knowledge, all of those things, the group gets to benefit from all of that.
Right.
Instead of just having everyone have the same background, same ideas, same training, all of those things. Everybody's bringing something to the table, and by trading with each other, everybody in the group benefits. So that's comparative advantage. If you want to get the most out of your work, focus on what you're good at. If you want to get the most out of working with other people, work with other people who have different skills than you do, and then you can all put something together to create a lot more value than you could otherwise, working alone.
I think it's important to remember that if you do have like a sole proprietorship, you can still use this to your advantage in working with certain outsourcers or getting really amazing tools. Like, for example, I'm learning how to do computer programming right now, and I'm kind of slow, but I've learned so many amazing shortcuts that I would not have been able to do by myself. So I think that's using it in a way.
Yes.
If you can still do it if you're alone. So don't think that you're at a disadvantage if you have like a sole proprietorship.
Right, and I'm glad you brought up the outsourcing point, because that's a really big trend and a lot of people are interested in it now. Outsourcing is really great because you can benefit, essentially hire in skills that you don't have already. It's also benefit, being an advocate of self-education and learning things on your own. The major benefit of that is not that you're going to focus on doing those things that you're not necessarily good at for a long time.
Right.
But doing it by yourself for a little while actually helps you develop the skills or the knowledge that you can outsource effectively.
Right.
So you understand what you're actually looking for and whether or not the work you're getting back is good.
Because you've got to be very, very specific with outsourcers, even really good ones, to get back what you want.
Right. So the whole adage, no man is an island, is very true. None of us can do it all ourselves. Learning the basics in a lot of things will give you the capability to work with a lot of people, which is great. But if you have important work that needs to be done quickly, for example, we're putting together a business that's a web-based application to do some testing research that I've been interested in for a long time. I'm not that good at programming.
Right.
I could probably do it, if I had 5 years to devote myself to it, but I don't right now. So, working with Tim, who's my partner on this project, has been really great because, he can focus on the building of things.
Right.
I can focus on...
Which he's amazing at.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The putting together and the marketing and the sales and, all of the business things that I'm good at. And, we've only been working together for a couple months and it's been going very quickly. And that's because we're both focusing on what we're good at. So comparative advantage, always work with other people who have the skills that you may not necessarily have. And by trading with each other or working together in this way, that's the whole point of working with other people. That's the benefit. And that's comparative advantage.